Hello. It's time now to move to Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 was released in 2010, and the 3-year difference and one console generation difference between Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2 was a big difference. Quality of the game much higher, graphics much better, gameplay vastly improved over Mass Effect. The characters and some of the character stories that you run into in Mass Effect 2 are really, really good. The main story, not so much. We lose a bit of the plot on the Reapers and go after sort of a secondary villain, and, well, there's just some... Let's go back here, get rid of that. There's just some problems with the story, and the story doesn't make a lot of sense, the main story, in many cases. It starts off with Commander Shepard dying, and then being immediately revived, which is just bad writing. There's no reason to kill a character at the beginning and then revive them 2 years later. I'm sure they could have come up with a better idea than that. Going after the Collectors rather than the Reapers, and going after the Collectors with no intel, no knowledge of what the Collectors are or how powerful their forces are. You just sort of jump in blind. So the main story, problematic, but the characters and side missions, and most of Mass Effect 2, really all of Mass Effect 2 is side missions, frankly, except for a couple of story missions which are thrown at you without a choice of whether you want to do them or not, which is problematic. That is a little irritating. However, the side missions and characters make this great. The gameplay make it great. It probably is the most popular of the Mass Effect games. So, let's go ahead and get started with the game, and we'll just import a previous character so we won't have to do quite as much of the most irritating part of this. Mass Effect 1 had driving the Mako, which was hugely frustrating. Mass Effect 2 has planet scanning for resources, which is time consuming and quite irksome, and I will probably not do a bunch of it in this playthrough, at least not where you can see it. I probably won't stream a bunch of that because you can actually spend hours doing planet scanning. We are going to do a new game, and we are going to import a Mass Effect 2 character so that we have our full powers right from the very beginning. And I will just grab the character from my latest playthrough, which is this character right here from 2019. I actually just did a playthrough of Mass Effect 2, and I should have streamed it, and I didn't. And so now we're going to just rebuild from this one and start off with lots of bonuses. That'll be a lot less planet scanning, because the planet scanning is just as boring as can be. I'm going to do a little bit of it on the stream, but for the most part, I'm going to ignore it. So we're going to grab my Jane Shepard, and this is a mission that was done after the game was complete. Wait a second. 34 hours and 28, 34 hours and 9. So this was done even after that. So this was my latest save. So this would be my most high-powered character that I have available to bring in. So let's bring her in, and we will start the playthrough. And it starts off, of course, with Commander Shepard's death. And I am more interested in the story than the combat here, so we're going to just continue with this. And here we go. Story begins.
Shepard did everything right. More than we could have hoped for. Saving the Citadel, even saving the Council, humanity has the trust of the entire galaxy. And still, it's not enough.
Our sacrifices have earned the Council's gratitude, but Shepard remains our best hope.
But they're sending her to fight Geth. Geth! We both know they're not the real threat. The Reapers are still out there.
And it's up to us to stop them.
The Council will never trust Cerberus. They'll never accept our help, even after everything humanity has accomplished. But Shepard, they'll follow her. She's a hero, a bloody icon. But she's just one woman. If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Then see to it that we don't lose her.
Disengaging FTL drives. Emission sinks active. Board is green. We are running silent.
We're wasting our time. 4 days searching up and down this sector, and we haven't found any sign of Geth activity.
3 ships went missing here in the past month. Something happened to them.
My money's on slavers. The Terminus system is crawling with them.
Picking up something on the long-range scanner. Unidentified vessel. Looks like a cruiser.
Doesn't match any known signatures.
Cruiser is changing course. Now on intercept trajectory.
Can't be. Stealth systems are engaged. There's no way a Geth ship could possibly...
It's not the Geth. Brace for evasive maneuvers!
Presley!
Kinetic barriers down! Multiple hull breaches! Weapons offline! Somebody get that fire out!
Distress beacon is ready for launch. Will the Alliance get here in time? The Alliance won't abandon us. We just need to hold on. Get everyone onto the escape shuttles. Joker's still in the cockpit. He won't evacuate. I'm not leaving either. I need you to get the crew onto the evac shuttles. I'll take care of Joker. Shepard. Liara, go. Now. Aye, aye. Everybody in! Go, go, go! on, Joker. We have to get out of here.
No, I won't abandon the Normandy. I can still save her.
The Normandy's lost. Going down with the ship won't change that.
Yeah, okay. Help me up. They're coming around for another attack. Watch the arm!
So now we go through the resurrection montage where Shepard is revived. How you survive
Commander
from being
Shepard has
spaced.
been recovered. The Lazarus Project will proceed as planned.
So how you survive from being spaced and then re-entering the atmosphere of a planet and then crashing into the surface, I don't know. And they never answer it. It's all scientific hand-waving. It's all just a silly way of rebuilding Shepard. But of course, now you get to restart her character from scratch and rebuild her. There had to have been a better way of doing this, but this is what we got, so this is what we'll have to live with. Now, I'm going to try to do my commentary a little bit different than I did in the last one, to the extent that I have commentary. I'm going to try to interrupt the game for the most part for the commentary. And that will allow us to, if you ever wanted to use this, download it from YouTube or whatever. That will enable you to sort of use it without having my voice in it. So we'll try to minimize my interruption into the game. I'm happy with my default character's face, so I will accept that. And the powers that I want are flashbang, stasis, barrier slam. What did I take in the last one? You know, I can change during the game, which is another nice thing, but I'm not sure what to take here. I'm going to get concussive shot because I'm a soldier, which I will use quite a lot, by the way. Slam doesn't work on shielded enemies. Shredder ammo, warp ammo. And I'm not sure how powerful warp ammo is. I'm going to start off with concussive shot and slam, and then we'll... Oh, but you know what? You can only use one power at a time. So you're going to have a cooldown for each of those powers, and you can't use a power until your cooldown from your previous power is done. But ammo is forever. This is always a difficult decision for me. You know what? I may just start off with warp ammo. Although I should get incendiary ammo. And warp ammo is good against biotic barriers. I may just take warp ammo because that's a power that works for an entire mission. So let's take that. Alright, so we will accept this character as my Shepard. And now we're off to start the tutorial level. And we'll get to the big change to the gameplay.
Something's wrong. She's reacting to outside stimuli, showing an awareness of her surroundings. Oh my God, Miranda. I think she's waking up.
Damn it, Wilson. She's not ready yet. Give her the sedative. Shepard, don't try to move. Just lie still. Try to stay calm.
Heart rate's still climbing. Brain activity is off the charts. Stats pushing into the red zone. It's not working.
Another dose. Now.
Heart rate dropping. Stats falling back into normal range. That was too close. We almost lost her.
I told you your estimates were off. Run the numbers again.
Wake up, Commander. Shepard, do you hear me? Get out of that bed now. This facility is under attack. Shepard, your scars aren't healed, but I need you to get moving. This facility is under attack. There's a pistol in the locker on the other side of the room. Hurry! Grab the pistol and armor from the locker. You don't have time to wait around, Shepard. Grab your weapon and armor.
This pistol doesn't have a thermal clip.
It's a med bay. We'll get you a clip from... Damn it! Those canisters by the door are going to blow. Get behind cover now.
So I'm pausing it here because Shepard said, when she picked up the pistol, this pistol doesn't have a thermal clip. This is the gameplay change that is kind of irksome. In Mass Effect 1, guns didn't have ammo. They were powered, and when they got too hot, they had cooldown periods. Now they have this thing called thermal clips, where when the heat builds up, you eject the thermal clip and replace it with another one. So basically, it's an ammo analog. How does Shepard know about thermal clips? Because this is a brand new change to firearms, and Shepard last knew about firearms that had cooldowns. Now Shepard magically knows about thermal clips, a technology that didn't exist 2 years ago, whenever she died. Okay, that's a little iffy. So now we have to have ammo for everything, and there are no old style heat sinks that we can use. This is something I didn't like, but they put it in there because they wanted to have multiplayer and they wanted to force ammo reloading. So thermal clips give you ammo reloading, but it is definitely a retcon, and not a retcon that I like, quite frankly. Anyway, then, that's my take on that. Let's go back to the game.
Keep your head down, Shepard. Shield yourself from the blast. Someone's hacking security trying to kill you. Look for a thermal clip for your pistol. Looks like they set up a barricade
Now, there's an important thing here if you're going to play Shepard, and it is a gameplay thing that you're going to have to keep in mind. If you're going to play Shepard as a soldier, and you level her all the way up, you're given the choice of being a commando or a shock trooper. The important thing here is to go with shock trooper, and all of the other classes have a similar mechanic, where if you look down at the bottom where it says Paragon Renegade, it gives you a 100% bonus for your Paragon and Renegade scores, and you're going to want that. And the reason is because near the end of the game, there are some loyalty checks that happen whenever Miranda and Jack and Tally and Legion are arguing, and you need to be able to retain both of their loyalty so that you can have the suicide mission at the end of the game where no one dies. And the way that this is set up is the points that you're given is the percentage of the available Paragon and Renegade points that you could have had during the game. So if you have an opportunity to get Paragon points and you ignore it, then your percentage goes down. If your percentage isn't high enough, you will not be able to retain the loyalty of both squad members when you have that argument. So you have the potential of having two squad members who are not loyal, and there's no way to get their loyalty back in some cases. So you have to go with Shock Trooper to ensure that, or whatever the class is, gives you 100% Paragon Renegade, to ensure that you get enough Paragon or Renegade points, depending on how you want to play it, so that you can do those loyalty checks and have the conversation options that you need. Also, because it runs with a percentage of the Paragon or Renegade points you could have gotten, and either did or didn't, it forces you to play almost entirely Paragon or entirely Renegade. If you like to mix and match, then at the end of the game you will not have the loyalty that you need, because you won't be able to win both sides' loyalties via a conversation option. Therefore, this game forces you into a particular play path for Paragon or Renegade, and your ability to mix and match between Paragon and Renegade is very limited. So that's something to keep in mind when you're playing the game. Be sure that you get the highest bonus for Paragon and Renegade, and play as close as you can pure Paragon or pure Renegade. And there are some places where you can use the interrupt system and get a good interrupt and get some better dialogue or a funnier situation or what have you. But for the most part, this mechanic kind of forces you down a particular morality path. So unlike the previous game where you could just add charm or intimidate points to open up the conversation options, now it is a percentage, and so I don't like that. Also notice that you have more than all of your squad mates. You have these powers that you can level up, but you'll also notice that it is nowhere near as comprehensive as Mass Effect, which was a more pure RPG, and you had like 15 different items that you could level up with points. Now you don't have that, and most of your squad mates, in fact, will only have 4 powers that can be leveled up. So they have really streamlined this as well. The other thing they've streamlined is weapons. Different classes are restricted to specific weapon types. So some of your biotics can only have a submachine gun or a pistol. As a soldier, you can have an assault rifle, but not a sniper rifle, I believe, or not a. So just all these limitations that are class-based, and so the class basis that they introduced in Mass Effect 2 is much more limiting. There are also far fewer weapons. If you remember in Mass Effect 1, you just had hundreds of different kinds of guns. That's all gone now. There are 3 assault rifles, there are like 2 or 3 shotguns, 2 or 3 pistols, and so everything is super limited. So they have turned it from an RPG into a much more action-oriented game, which I really don't like, but it's still fun as hell, so we're going to play through it anyway. Anyway, that's enough of my commentary. Let's get back to the game.
Shepard, security mechs are closing in on your position. Take cover. Don't take any chances. Stay in cover while you take out those mechs.
System not designed for specialized ammunition. Rerouting power. Requesting assistance. Requesting assistance.
Nice work, Shepard. Don't waste time. I can't keep the mechs distracted for long.
Another irritating thing here, these thermal clips are supposed to be universal, but they're not. Sniper rifle thermal clips only work on sniper rifles. Assault weapon thermal clips only work on assault weapons. So they say they're universal, but they're not. And so you have limited ammo for every single weapon. So you constantly have to be picking up thermal clips to ensure that you're reloaded. So, like I said, it's an irksome change, and I don't much like it, but it's what we got, so we got to live with it.
More reinforcements heading your way. Grab the grenade launcher off. Here come the mechs. You. It's the grenade launcher.
They've seen us.
Take the elevator down one floor. Hurry! Get to the door! Run! You're doing fine, Shep. Head to the next room and I'll try to meet you. Shepard, read me. I've got them closing in on my position.
Allied force casualty. Failure.
Progress is slow, but subject shows signs of recovery. Major organs are again functional, and there are signs of rudimentary neurological activity. In an effort to accelerate the process, we've moved from simple organic reconstruction of the subject to biosynthetic fusion. Initial results show promise.
Log update. The cost of this project is astronomical. Over 4 billion credits so far. But nobody seems to care that we've gone over budget. I don't know where the boss gets all his money. Maybe it's better not to know. I just wish he'd kick a little more in my direction once in a while.
Okay, I know I'm adding a lot of commentary here on the introduction, mainly because of all the changes. In the last game, there were a bunch of QuickTime events where you have to mash buttons to follow what flashes on the screen. Those are all gone now. We're about to get introduced to one of the two mechanics for mini games that we're going to see, the bypass and the hacking system. We're about to see the bypass system, and we'll be seeing a lot of either bypass or hacking as we play the game. Right now, we're going to go with a little bypass action. We'll have a hacking section in a second.
incoming. Have a nice trip.
Shepard, what the hell? Tag!
Power what are you doing here? Thought you were still a work in progress.
Are you with Miranda?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot this is all new to you right now. I'm Jacob Taylor. I've been stationed here for—
Hostiles detected.
Damn it! Things must be worse than I thought if Miranda's got you running around. I'll fill you in, but we better get you to the shuttle first.
I know this isn't the best time, but I'm sick of stumbling around when I don't know what's going on.
Fair enough. I'll give you the quick version. You and your ship were attacked and destroyed. You were killed. Dead as dead can be when they brought you here. Our scientists spent the last 2 years putting you back together. You've been comatose, or worse, that whole time. Welcome back to your life.
This doesn't look like an Alliance facility.
It isn't. I can't say much more than that for now. The Alliance officially declared you killed in action. The whole galaxy thinks you're dead. And if we don't get to those shuttles, they'll be right.
Were there any other survivors from the Normandy?
I'll tell you what. You help me finish off these mechs, and I'll play 20 questions with you all day. We're low on thermal clips, but I'm a biotic. Just give the order when you want me to hit them with the good stuff.
Backup systems engaged. Allied force casualty.
Just give the order and I'll hit him with a biotic power. Yeah! Okay. I promised I'd answer your questions. What do you want to know?
What's your job here?
Depends on who you ask. Technically, I'm Miranda's top lieutenant, but I'm just a soldier. I served 5 years in the Alliance before this. Now I'm in charge of the station's security. Usually a lot more dull than this. Normally I don't fire my gun unless it's target practice.
When I first woke up, someone named Miranda was talking to me over the radio. We lost contact just before I ran into you.
Miranda Lawson is the station's ranking officer. She led the Lazarus team. It was her job to bring you back to life, no matter what. Should have guessed she'd try to save you. She's not about to give up on you now. You said you lost contact. Could you tell what was happening?
There was some gunfire and an explosion right before I lost her.
She knows how to take care of herself. But I hope she's okay.
You said they spent 2 years rebuilding me. How bad were my injuries?
I'm no doctor, but it was bad. When I first saw you, you were nothing but meat and tubes. Anywhere else, they'd have put you in a coffin. But Project Lazarus was different. Cutting-edge technology.
What do you mean, cloning? Cybernetics?
I don't know the details. You'd have to ask the scientists. But I'm pretty sure you're not a clone. They wanted to bring you back exactly as you were. You're still you. You just might have a few extra bits and pieces now.
What can you tell me about the project? Were there other test subjects?
Project Lazarus only had one subject. The whole point was to bring you back. Just you. Even that was a challenge. 2 years. All the top scientists. The best technology money could buy.
Do you know anything about this attack? Who's behind it, what they're after?
Damned if I know. I was getting ready for some shut-eye, then bam! Bunch of explosions. Next thing I know, every damn mech in the place starts shooting. At us. I'm guessing it had to be an inside job. You'd need top security access to hack all the mechs.
The last thing I remember is the Normandy blowing up. Did anyone else make it?
Just about everybody survived. A few servicemen from the lower decks didn't get out. Navigator Presley was killed by an explosion. But everyone else, including the non-Alliance crew, the Asari, Liara, and the Quarian, they all made it out alive.
Do you know what any of them are doing now?
I don't know, Commander. It's been 2 years. They've moved on. Left the Alliance. Could be anywhere.
They were my team. If they knew I was alive, they'd come back.
Maybe you can track them down after we get off the station. If we get off the station.
What's the quickest way to those shuttles?
Depends where the mechs are thickest. It's probably best if
Check. Anyone on this frequency? Anybody still alive out there? Hello?
Wilson, this is Jacob. I'm here with Commander Shepard. Just took out a wave of mechs over in D-Wing.
Shepard's alive? How the hell? Never mind. You need to get her out of there. Get to the service tunnels and head for the network control room.
Roger that, Wilson. Stay on this frequency.
I think I remember a Wilson checking on me one time when I woke up.
That's him. He's the chief medical tech. Answers directly to Miranda. Come on. The service tunnels are this way. Charge him up! Damn it, Wilson. This room is crawling with mechs.
The whole station is crawling with mechs. I'm doing the best I can.
Allied forces have engaged.
Wilson, find us another route out of here. Preferably one that doesn't lead straight into an enemy squad.
Just keep moving toward the control room. Don't get pinned down. I'll see what I can do. Oh, God. They found me. Help!
Wilson, where are you?
Server room B! Hurry! They're out of control!
Up those stairs, Shepard.
Oh, God! I'm hit! They shot me!
Physical reconstruction of subject is complete, but we still need to evaluate all mental and neurological functions. Our orders were clear. Make Commander Shepard who she was before the explosion. The same mind, the same morals, the same personality. If we alter her identity in any way, if she's somehow not the woman she used to be, the Lazarus Project will have failed. I refuse to let that happen.
You know, it's really hard to keep up a sense of urgency in this attack and this need to escape if at the same time they keep throwing you all of these different things to hack and logs to listen to and conversations to have. The conversation with Jacob while you're actually under fire doing a Q&A session is particularly dumb. But look up, things do get better.
Shepard, down here! Bastards got me in the leg!
You were there the first time I regained consciousness.
Yeah, that was me. How about we talk about this after we fix my leg?
Should be some Medi-gel in the first aid station on the wall. Hopefully there's enough to get him up and moving again.
Grab the Medi-gel from the first aid station on the wall.
My understanding is that there is some Medi-gel on the first aid station on the wall.
Wilson's...
Thanks, Shepard. Never thought you'd save my life. Guess that makes us even now. I thought maybe I could shut down the security mechs, but whoever did this fried the whole system. Completely irreversible.
We didn't ask what you were doing. Why do you even have security mech clearance? You were in the bio wing.
Weren't you listening? I came here to try and fix this. Besides, I was shot. How do you explain that?
You're all strangers to me. Let's get someplace safe and then we'll sort out whose fault it is.
Right, Shepard. We need to find Miranda. We can't leave her behind.
Forget about Miranda. She was over in D-Wing. The mechs were all over that sector. There's no way she survived.
A bunch of mechs won't drop Miranda. She's alive.
Then where is she? Why haven't we heard from her? There are only two possible explanations. She's either dead, or she's a traitor.
Then why did she wake me up and warn me about the attack?
Okay, Maybe she's not a traitor. But that doesn't change the facts. We're here, she's not. We need to save ourselves. The shuttle bay is only a few... We can overload the canisters to clear a path to the shuttles. That's it. Let's get out of here.
Okay, we took him down. But this is getting tense. Shepard, if I tell you who we work for, will you trust me?
This really isn't the time, Jacob.
We won't make it if she's expecting a shot in the back.
If you want to piss off the boss, it's your ass, Jacob.
The Lazarus Project. The program that rebuilt you. It's funded and controlled by Cerberus.
I think I ran into Cerberus a few times while I was investigating Saren. Some kind of pro-human splinter group, right?
Well, that's what the Alliance wants people to believe. But there's more to it. The Alliance declared you dead. They gave up. Cerberus spent a fortune to bring you back. Look, I'd be suspicious too. But right now we have to work together. I thought you deserved to know what's what. Once we're off the station, I'll take you to the Illusive Man. He'll explain everything. I promise.
Illusive Man. Is he in charge of all this?
Yeah. That's not his real name, of course. Nobody knows who he really is.
It was a code name the Alliance used for him. Kinda stuck.
I don't care what they did or what you say. I am not working with terrorists.
You can tell it to the boss. But after we've saved our butts. We're almost at the shuttle.
Okay, so Cerberus, the people who killed Admiral Kahoku, who did all that horrible experimentation in Mass Effect, now all of a sudden we're going to work for them. And Shepard says, I'll never work for Cerberus, but of course you spend an entire game doing exactly that. And now we have to do our second mini-game thing that we have to do all the time, and that is a hacking mission. Hacking and bypassing are how we're going to get most of our money in this game, or at least about half of it. So we have to do it a lot.
Sensors activated.
Taking heavy fire!
Authorized for lethal force.
And that's how you die. Let's try this again and see if we can't not go through that side of the building. I've never done it before, and it's a horrible idea, clearly.
has been recovered, but the damage is far worse than we initially feared. In addition to the expected burns and internal injuries from the explosion, subject has suffered significant cellular breakdown due to long-term exposure to vacuum and sub-zero temperatures. Despite the extent of the physical trauma, Wilson assures me subject is salvageable. The Lazarus Project will proceed as planned.
How you salvage somebody who's been dead for 2 years is completely beyond me, but the game says it can be done, so who am I to question a scientific impossibility?
Come on, through here. We're almost at the... Miranda, but you were...
Dead?
What the hell are you doing?
My job. Wilson betrayed us all.
Even if you're sure, did he deserve that welcome?
He sabotaged the security systems, killed my staff, and he would have killed us.
You sure about that, Miranda? We've known Wilson for years. What if you're wrong?
I'm never wrong. I thought you'd have learnt that by now, Jacob.
You should have taken him alive, see what he knew.
Too risky. I've put too much time and effort bringing you back to life to let you get killed now.
You really think Wilson's capable of that?
Not anymore.
If you say so. What's our next step?
We get on the shuttle and go. My boss wants to speak to you.
You mean the Illusive man? I know you work for Cerberus.
Ah, Jacob. I should have known your conscience would get the better of you.
Lying to the commander isn't the way to get her to join our cause.
Well, since we're getting everything out in the open, is there anything else you want to ask before we go, Commander?
Convenient that you show up as we're leaving. Where were you during the attack?
Besides trying to save your life? Wilson figured out I was helping you and he sent an army of mechs to take me out. I got here as soon as I could. Probably a little too soon if you ask Wilson.
You're the Lazarus Project's director, aren't you?
That's right. I put 2 years of my life into this project. Into you.
What does Cerberus want from me?
Maybe you should ask the Illusive Man when you meet him. He poured virtually unlimited resources into Lazarus. Obviously, he has some kind of plan for you.
Where are we going?
Another Cerberus facility. The Illusive Man is waiting for you there.
I'm not sure I trust you.
This is the only shuttle off the station. You want to stay and rot with the mechs? Be my guest.
What about the rest of the people on the station?
This is the evac area. If they're not here now, they're not coming.
We can't leave without knowing for sure. We need to go back and look.
Don't you get it? The only one worth saving is you. Everyone else is expendable.
She's right. We all knew the risks when we signed up. Without you, there's no point to any of this.
I've had enough of this station to last a lifetime.
Or 2, in your case. Come on. Before you meet with the Illusive Man, we need to ask a few questions to evaluate your condition.
Come on, Miranda, more tests? Shepard took down those mechs without any trouble. That has to be good enough.
It's been 2 years since the attack. The Illusive Man needs to know that Shepard's personality and memories are intact. Ask the questions.
Did you say 2 years? I've been gone that long?
2 years and 12 days. And you were on an operating table for most of it.
The sooner we start, the sooner we can be done. Start with personal history.
Okay. Records show you were a spacer kid, raised mostly on one ship or another. You enlisted and won a medal fighting Batarians during the Skillian Blitz. Do you remember that?
A lot of lives depended on me holding that position. I did what I had to.
However you want to put it, it was damn impressive. I had friends who were there. Satisfied, Miranda?
Almost. Let's try something more recent. Vermeer, where you destroyed Saren's cloning facility. You had to leave one of your squad behind to die in the blast.
Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams was killed in action. It was your call. Why did you leave her behind?
I left a friend to die that day and I didn't do it casually. But I had to save as many people as I could. Ash gave her life for the rest of the team. Without her, I couldn't have stopped Saren. She died a hero.
I understand, Commander. And I wasn't judging your decision. Everybody at Cerberus knows that cloning facility had to be destroyed.
Shepard, think back to the Citadel, after the Alliance saved the Destiny Ascension and you killed Saren. What happened next?
Humanity was offered a spot on the Council. I recommended Captain Anderson for the position.
Yes, Captain Anderson is now Counselor Anderson. Though from what I hear, he preferred life in the military.
Still, good to know that the human council member isn't going to put politics ahead of defense.
Your memory seems solid. There are other tests we really should run.
Come on, Miranda. Enough with the quizzes. The memories are there, and I can vouch for Shepard's combat skills personally.
I suppose you're right. We'll have to hope the Illusive Man accepts our little field test as evidence enough.
Commander Shepard.
Illusive Man. I thought we'd be meeting face to face.
A necessary precaution. Not unusual for people who know what you and I know.
You might be the reason I'm still alive, but that doesn't mean I trust you.
You need to put your personal feelings aside. Humanity is up against the greatest threat of our brief existence.
The Reapers.
Good to see your memory's still intact. How are you feeling?
You need to earn the right to ask me those kinds of questions.
Cerberus isn't as evil as you believe. You and I are on the same side. We just have different methods.
Cut to the chase. What are the Reapers doing that made you decide to bring me back?
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack. While you've been sleeping, entire colonies have been disappearing. Human colonies. We believe it's someone working for the Reapers. Just as Saren and the Geth aided Sovereign. You've seen it yourself. You bested all of them. That's just one reason we chose you.
Fighting a war doesn't seem like Cerberus. Why are you involved?
We're committed to the advancement and preservation of humanity. If the Reapers are targeting us, trying to wipe us out, Cerberus will stop them. If we wait for politicians or the Alliance to act, no more human colonies will be left.
Sovereign was trying to harvest all life in the galaxy. Why would the Reapers target a few human colonies?
Hundreds of thousands of colonists have vanished. I'd say that fits the definition of harvesting. Nobody's paying attention because it's random, and the attacks occur in remote locations. I don't know why they've suddenly targeted humanity. Maybe you got their attention when you killed one of them.
If this is a threat against humanity, you need to mobilize the Alliance.
They suffered substantial losses fighting Sovereign. They're rebuilding, still stretched too thin to waste resources verifying the Reaper threat. Blaming the abductions on mercs and pirates is easier, and more convenient.
You could have trained an entire army for what you spent to bring me back.
You're unique. Not just in ability or what you've experienced, but in what you represent. You stood for humanity at a key moment. You're more than a soldier. You're a symbol. And I don't know if the Reapers understand fear, but you killed one. They have to respect that.
If what you say is true, if the Reapers are behind this, I'd consider helping you.
I'd be disappointed if you accepted any of this without seeing for yourself. I have a shuttle ready to take you to Freedom's Progress, the latest colony to be abducted. Miranda and Jacob will brief you.
Miranda killed Wilson in cold blood. Jacob's just a gun for hire. You expect me to trust them?
Wilson was one of my best agents, but he was a traitor. Miranda did exactly what I expected of her, and she saved your life in more ways than one. Jacob's a soldier, one of the best. He's never fully trusted me, but he's always been honest about it. You'll be just fine with them. For now.
Is this a volunteer job, or am I being volunteered?
You always have a choice, Shepard. If you don't find the evidence we're both looking for, we can part ways. But first, go to Freedom's Progress. Find any clues you can. Who's abducting the colonies? Do they have any connection to the Reapers? I brought you back. It's up to you to do the rest.
I'm glad the Illusive man convinced you to join us, Commander.
I just want to find out what happened to those missing people. I still don't trust Cerberus.
Noted. Do you trust me, Commander?
You're part of Cerberus. I'll be keeping an eye on you, too.
Fair enough. I can't expect you to trust me just because I ask you. I'll just have to earn that trust.
Do you know anything about this colony we're going to?
It's called Freedom's Progress. Don't know much else. I guess we'll find out when we get there.
You said you served in the Alliance.
5 years in total. Stationed all over the galaxy. Even spent a couple of years as a Corsair.
I've never heard of the Corsairs.
It was an Alliance initiative. They hired independent starship captains and used them for missions that fell outside official Alliance jurisdiction. Technically, we weren't part of the Alliance. If we ever got caught, they could disavow any knowledge of us. We were supposed to be free from restrictions and rules, but there was still enough red tape to sink a cruiser. I finally just gave up.
Why did you join Cerberus?
I guess I just got tired of never making a difference. So much of what we did in the Alliance seemed pointless. I thought things would change after the attack on the Citadel. Humanity was finally invited to join the Council, but nothing changed. Politics, bureaucracy, same bullshit, different leaders. Cerberus is different. When colonies go missing, we don't commission a team to write a report to figure out what the hell to do about it. We just go and find out.
That's all for now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I thought Miranda was here, that I could talk to her. She always has been on every previous playthrough. I don't know where she is. This is the casual appearance that you can pick. There are several different outfits, all of which are either a Cerberus uniform or that cocktail dress. I refuse to wear a Cerberus uniform, so I'm going to stay in civilian clothes for the whole game. My armor is left over from a previous playthrough. It's already leveled up, so I'm going to keep it. Alright, well I can't seem to find Miranda, and we have to go to the mission on Freedom's Progress, so that concludes the introduction and the meeting with the Illusive Man. So we're going to end this episode now, and we'll pick up the Freedom's Progress thing here in a couple of minutes. I just want to end this stream so that I can split off every single mission into a separate episode. So for the next couple of minutes, so long. I'll be back in just a few to head to Freedom's Progress.